We're days away from voting in India, so there's a political pundit in every corner. Everyone has something to say about the candidates, about the election strategy, and about who will win the election. But can Indian civil servants do the same? I'm talking about your bureaucrats and diplomats. Can they also openly talk politics? I ask because it's become quite the controversy. It all started with an article in the Irish Times, your typical Western hit piece. Look at one of the many sweeping statements in it. This is what it says. India's democratic credentials have been severely tarnished. So naturally, there was pushback, and it came from India's ambassador to Ireland. His name is Akhilesh Mishra. The ambassador wrote a letter to the newspaper, which is quite common. Foreign ambassadors do write op-eds and articles, even the ones posted in India, they write all the time. But his words have triggered a controversy. His critics say he crossed a line. Let me quote from what he wrote. The fight against the deeply entrenched ecosystem of corruption created by the 55-year rule, including first 30 years by a single dynastic party in India, is a major factor behind Mr. Modi's ever-growing popularity. If you follow Indian politics, you do not need an explanation. If not, let me tell you what this is about. Only one party has ruled India for 55 years. That's the Congress Party, India's main opposition. After independence, they have mostly been led by members of one family, that is the Nehru-Gandhi family. So critics are quick to raise that. They call the Congress a dynastic political party. So has India's ambassador to Ireland. He's done the same. In fact, he's gone a step ahead. He has blamed the Congress for corruption in India, and he's entitled to his opinion. But can he express it on such a platform? That has become a subject of debate. Politicians do it all the time, so do political commentators, but diplomats tend to steer clear of this. So the Congress party has taken up the matter. They say Ambassador Mishra should not have made those remarks. Let me quote from their statement, the Congress party statement. Defending the government of India is one thing and is to be expected. But to attack opposition parties openly in this manner is not expected from an ambassador. This is unprofessional and disgraceful behavior. He should be sacked right away. Now, India's foreign service is professional. There are very few political appointees. Even the Irish envoy is a career diplomat. So he's bound by service rules. And what do they say? They say you cannot show political and ideological inclination. Now the question is, did these comments violate those rules? We read the ambassador's whole article, and later on he makes some points worth noting too. He says Indian Hindus are not a monolithic vote bank. He also points out that the BJP only rules in 12 out of 28 states. Both are strong arguments for Indian democracy, but chances are no one will focus on that because his earlier lines are seen as problematic. Now, this episode also raises a larger question. What role do diplomats play in domestic politics? Well, it depends on which country you're looking at. In the US, the foreign service is all political. Many ambassadors are active politicians. Like the US ambassador to India. His name is Eric Garcetti. He's a former mayor of Los Angeles. Now, Garcetti is a bona fide politician. He is a member of Joe Biden's Democratic Party. And it's actually quite common in the US. Some ambassadors have gone on to become presidents there, like John Adams, Thomas Jefferson, and George H.W. Bush. But India's system is quite different. Most Indian ambassadors are members of the IFS, the Indian Foreign Service, and political appointees are quite few. For most of the last century, there was an unwritten rule. Only 6 ambassadors should be political appointees. The rest should be career diplomats. But now that number is changing. Of course, after retirement, you're free to join politics. In fact, the IFS has given India a number of ministers like Natwar Singh in the 2000s and S. Jaishankar today. Diplomats certainly have the skill and the worldview to be politicians. But when they dabble in politics is the crucial question.